Most people believe something about retirement. That isn't just wrong. It's quietly costing them peace of mind. They believe the moment you stop working, your finances start going downhill. That retirement is the beginning of financial decline. Less income, more risk, slowly running out of money. And if you're honest, you've probably felt that fear too. But what if I told you? For many people, the exact opposite happens. Not everyone, but a surprising number of retirees don't just maintain their wealth, they actually end up with more than they expected. And almost nobody explains why. Because this isn't about luck. It's not about winning the lottery. It's not about being ultra rich. It's about something much simpler and much more powerful. A series of financial shifts that quietly happen after you stop working. Shifts in taxes, spending, income, lifestyle. And once you understand these shifts, you start to see retirement differently. Not as a decline, but as a financial transition. And in many cases, a more efficient one. Let's break down what's really happening. One of the biggest surprises in retirement is how dramatically your tax situation can change. When you're working, you're earning your highest income, which means you're often paying your highest taxes. Federal taxes, state taxes, payroll taxes. It all adds up. But when you retire, something shifts. Your income becomes more flexible. You're no longer locked into a paycheck. And that changes everything. Because now, you control where your income comes from. Some of it might be Social Security, retirement accounts, investments. And here's what most people don't realize. Not all of that income is taxed the same way. In fact, some of it is taxed very lightly, and some of it, not at all. So even if your income looks lower on paper, your after-tax money can feel surprisingly strong. Let that sink in. It's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Now here's where things really start to shift. Most people think retirement expenses stay the same, or even go up. But for many retirees, the opposite happens. Because think about your working life. Every single day, you're spending money just to maintain your routine. Commuting, gas, lunches, coffee, work clothes, convenience spending. It's constant, and often, you don't even notice it. But when you stop working, those expenses disappear, almost overnight. And then there's something even bigger. Over time, many people enter retirement with their mortgage paid off, no dependent children, fewer financial obligations. So what happens? Your cost of living drops, sometimes significantly. And when your expenses drop, but your income is still steady, your money starts to last longer. And in many cases, it starts to build. Here's one of the most misunderstood truths about retirement. Your investments don't stop growing just because you stop working. In fact, this is often when they are at their largest. After decades of saving, your portfolio has reached its peak size, which means even modest growth can produce meaningful gains. Now combine that with something we just talked about, lower expenses. Because if you don't need to withdraw as much, your investments stay invested. And when they stay invested, they keep compounding. Quietly, consistently, over time. And this is where something powerful happens. Growth can begin to outpace withdrawals, meaning your portfolio doesn't shrink. It stabilizes. And sometimes, it grows, even in retirement. Now let's talk about something that changes the entire equation. Social Security. Because Social Security isn't just income, it's stability. It's predictable. It's consistent. It shows up every month, no matter what the market is doing. And that matters more than most people realize. Because it reduces pressure. Pressure on your investments. Pressure on your decisions. Pressure on your lifestyle. Instead of constantly pulling money out of your portfolio, you now have a foundation, a baseline. And that allows your investments to do what they're designed to do: grow over time. Think about that. You're no longer relying on one source. You now have a system, and systems create stability. Before retirement, healthcare can feel unpredictable, expensive, stressful, premiums go up, plans change, out-of-pocket costs fluctuate. It's one of the biggest unknowns in your financial life. But after 65, something changes. Many people transition to Medicare. And while it's not perfect, it creates something incredibly valuable: predictability. And predictability reduces financial stress, because uncertainty is often more damaging than the cost itself. When you know what to expect, you can plan, and when you can plan, you make better decisions. And better decisions protect your wealth. Now here's a move that can completely change someone's financial picture: downsizing. After years, sometimes decades, in a larger home, many retirees choose to simplify. Smaller space, less maintenance, lower costs. But here's the real impact: they unlock equity, often a significant amount. And when that equity becomes cash, it creates flexibility, options, security. At the same time, their monthly expenses drop. So now they have more cash, lower costs. That combination can dramatically improve net worth. This next one surprises a lot of people. Many retirees still earn money, but now it's different. It's not driven by necessity. It's driven by choice. They work part-time, they consult, they turn hobbies into income. And here's the key difference: they don't need that money to survive. So what happens to it? They don't spend it, they save it, they invest it. Which means even small amounts of income can accumulate over time, quietly increasing their wealth. And then there's something that's rarely talked about, but happens more often than people think. Later in life, many people receive financial boosts, inheritances, asset transfers, unexpected windfalls. And because their lifestyle is already stable, they don't need to spend it. So it stays, it compounds, it strengthens their financial position. Now let's be honest for a moment. This doesn't happen for everyone. If someone enters retirement with high debt, poor planning, uncontrolled spending, this dynamic can reverse. But here's the point: retirement is not automatically decline. It's a shift, and depending on how it's structured, it can actually become more efficient than working life. The biggest mistake people make is fearing retirement financially, when in reality, for many people, it becomes one of the most stable and even wealth-building phases of life. Not because they earn more, but because they manage more efficiently, and that changes everything. If this gave you a new perspective, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because everything we do here is about helping you stay independent, confident, financially secure after 50. And I want to hear from you. When you think about retirement, do you feel more confident now, or still a little uncertain? Comment confident or unsure below and tell me why. I read every single one and reply where I can.